Hello, traders. I'm going to go over a little bit of today's price action. I apologize in advance because I have developed a little bit of a summer cold, much to my chagrin. Um, this 4 hour fair value gap was the draw. We pushed through this one with no problem at all. Um, we got our opening range low here. And so offering into this one was a definite possibility. If you watched this is the high of this fair value gap right here. The entire thing. We've been working through it a little bit, but we pushed all the way through it today. We worked into the bottom portion of it yesterday, right here, and rejected. Then today we went through it. Okay, so that's the high of it right there. And you can see on the 4 hour chart very clearly that we worked into it just a little bit and then we rejected. Now, the interesting part about this candle that I like, that ended up being my take profit. If you go from the pre-market or the opening range low right there to the high of the day right there, you can see that this retrace was to the 50% mark of that opening range. I'm not quite there. I mean, the high point of the day, the full day range runs from this opening range low. So that's as low as we traded on the day. And that's the high point that we traded on the day. So when you get a pullback in a bullish day, it'll usually come back to the halfway point. Sometimes if we're super bullish, it'll only come back to the 25% point. But my target was that halfway point. You could think, oh, all the way to settlement or whatever, but this is a good low-hanging fruit objective. Okay? So let's break it down here and let's see what the price action looks like on the 1 minute chart. Once we take that level, then we start looking for reversals. Okay? So our reversal pattern calls for, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. We know we just took that level. Calls for a level on a major time frame getting taken, a higher time frame. We pull away with a fair value gap. And we validate our breaker by candle bodies closing below it, and then respecting it, preferably respecting the halfway point. They can go all the way up to here, the candle bodies, but you don't want to see them closing outside of it. There is an actual little caveat. This entire thing is the breaker, but the last candle has the most emphasis. So this is respecting it really nicely. But we haven't had any fair value gaps once we validated it. There's just there's a little volume imbalance there. And not until, I think there might be a tiny one there. Not until we got right here did I really feel strongly about this down move. Because we did have some higher fruit right here that I thought we might trade to. I was thinking maybe we go down here, take out this low, and then trade back up to that. Since we've been directional all day and it was after lunch, it definitely into the lunch hour when all this started happening, it was, well, I'll be around 1:30 when we validated that thing. That's a number you see a lot on a pullback, 1:30. Remember that time frame. So we finally get a nice fair value gap to the downside. We respect it. I went short on this candle right here, this green candle. And my take profit, I'd already measured it out, was going to be the halfway point of this daily range. And so that's where I took my profit. I was hoping for a push back up to here. And this is a good example of what the different PD arrays, this one being a good one, it continually was moving down, down, down slowly, but respecting this breaker the whole time. And then a fair value gap to the downside. And then, of course, we fell out of bed. Now, this one, is it a breaker? Yes. Are there fair value gaps? Does it get validated? Absolutely. It stayed validated all the way to here. But this is 1 hour, and we're not seeing continuous movement up. A little over an hour. We're not seeing continuous movement up. We need to see it leaving town, getting away from this area. And so, in a situation like this, if you just see it repeatedly, just staying here for 30 minutes. This was actually until we got this one. This was like 20 minutes. It started at 130 or 156. Our first validation candle right here is the first one that closed below is at 131, and our fair value gap happened at 156. So 34 minutes, still a little bit, but we are making a downward move still. This one we validated, but then we just went sideways. We weren't making upward moves. So that may be it. And also, this was the halfway point, but it was not a major higher level time frame high or low. That's another thing. When we take a major higher time frame high or low, or we fill in an inefficiency like a fair value gap, that's when you really want to start looking for these things and have confidence in them because they work. And this one, you could have gotten a little bit of low hanging fruit, but if you were expecting a move all the way up to here, you wouldn't have gotten it. You didn't get it, and that was kind of, we were done for the day once we made it back up to here. Like say if you took a trade off of this breaker right here and you just aim for this high, you would have gotten it pretty quickly. But it's only like a 10, 15 point move. Not bad if you're trading E-minis. Let's see what that would be to right there. That's a 19 point move. So if you're trading a large contract size like an E-mini or even 10 micros, a 20 point move would pay you a couple $100. Let's see, that would be $400. It'd be $400 move right there. So you could take it. You're just not going to get the giant moves like we were used to, like when we see these reversal patterns. And corresponding liquidity would be these relative equal lows here. Even on a higher time frame, these are relative equal lows. Let me look at a 15-minute and see where we pulled back to right here. And also this fair value gap on the 15-minute. Real nice, real inviting levels to pull back to. It just happens to be correspond to the tick of 50% of the day's move. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it. Didn't want to talk just briefly about Andrew Menaker and the whole emotional thing. Bringing things into your awareness is often all that needs to happen for you to understand. There's one thing he said in that video. If you haven't watched it, I will link it in the description again. But he said that there's a little window of time between when you're starting to get emotional trading. You don't have to be on full tilt. You can just get upset because you lost a trade or you didn't get filled by one lousy tick or something like that. Once you get emotional over that, you're transferring from your logical brain that's reading the charts well to your emotional brain. Okay? And just being aware of that little fact is very important. It can really help you with your trading. So just being aware that could happen. And then so there's a little window between the time you get emotional and the time you act on that emotion. We can't control our emotions. It's going to get us upset, but we can control our behavior, how we act with that emotion. Okay, so if there's a scenario, I miss my fill by a tick, I get upset, and I have a little bitty window there before I start chasing that trade, or I say, you know what, I'm upset. I'm going to lock my account for 15 minutes. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to come back and see what the chart looks like. That would be your best logical mind situation. If you can get to the point you're doing that and you wait for reversals at key points like this, I don't have any doubt in my mind that you will be able to be a full-time, profitable, prop firm trader. And that's my goal. I haven't made any secret of the fact that's what I'm working towards. And for the last 2 weeks, I mean, I don't feel like I've been on full tilt, but I've definitely been emotional about some of the moves that have gone against me. And until that was brought into my awareness that that's what was going on, I didn't really feel like I had any control over it. I felt like I was at the mercy of my emotions. And now I'm able to stop myself before I wreck myself. And I can do it without putting in all these parameters to lock my account. So that's good. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to one another. Until next time, trade well.